Alrighty folks, welcome back for some more TechNodeFirmaCraft. Playing some Minecraft here on the server. Just me on the day, and as I would expect at this time of day. At any rate, it is finally, I tells you what, time to build our alviary. I do believe, our first alviary. And as you guys know, this was not a particularly simple process. So let's get all the scented panelings out of here. And I have a whole bunch of impregnated casings from from just running a bunch of these through earlier. Remember, these actually take a bit of work too. Seed oil plus logs, not planks. So these are a little bit expensive, but not too bad. Once you get forestry wood, of course, you can get lots of wood pretty quickly. I need a crafting table. Well, I guess I don't need one. I have a crafting grid. But basically, it is scented paneling around the impregnated casing, and we need 27 of these, I dare say, in order to build our very first alveary. And apparently I went too far with that one. Okay, let's see, where are we at? Let's just do that many. So that's 21, oh well, 16 apparently, because I clicked the wrong things. And then we'll just do that, and that, and that. And then we'll grab all of you. Really? Okay, can we do this, please? There. Something more like that. Still not enough. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. And we end up with 14 extra scented paneling. That's it. That was 3 full stacks plus a couple of others, and yeah. So that took a lot. The beeswax, I'm down to that much, plus a little bit in here. It's actually been a couple days, and I've been messing with chunk loaders and stuff, so we have some more royal jelly ready to go, some more honey ready to go, but not a whole lot of combs at the moment. So, you know, we're doing okay. We do have lots of pulsating propolis, which is awesome, and I'm getting some honey from that. It doesn't give 100%, but you get a fair amount. So we just put this in here. I've got my little work table. Just shift click that, grab the old pulsating mesh, and then throw it over here, and bam, ender pearls pop out for the chunk loaders. Cool. Alright, let us move on and build. Alright, another quick detour. I just learned about this thing. I was actually digging through a config file. I was trying to figure out how much RF these things take per tick, and it's not obvious, or I didn't find it. Anyway, I found this thing about escritory, or tortior, whatever it is, and I've never heard of this thing before. Apparently, it used to be only found in villages or something, and it was kind of buggy, and it didn't really work, but apparently it works now. So I messed with it a little bit, and I thought I would just show this off. Probably if I knew this better, it would help early on. But let's see. So let's take a Meadows drone. You start out, it's a little mini game. You start out, you put your Meadows drone in there, or whatever drone, okay? And now it's basically a game of memory. Except that if you ever don't match, you lose the game immediately. Alright, so this is the lowest tier little Meadows drone guy. So we have 6 things to try to match up. So we go here and here, and nope, that's not it. So let's start over again. Nope, not it. Now we can get hints, but the best thing would be to get a match right away. There we go, without bothering to get a hint. So now we've got that. We're down to 4. Now I could just guess and try to get another one, but what would be better is if we put some either drone bees or combs, or I guess other things will go into here, and we can use this little examine thing to help us out. So let's pick one. Okay, so that's a farmerly drone, and now if we do examine, it reveals 2 others. So we now know, we picked the farmerly, we now know to pick this one. If, let's say, both of these had been noble, then we would know to pick this one to find the farmerly. So there we go. So farmerly drone, and then I picked these 2, and success. So attempt number 1, my colleagues will be impressed. I know that font is really small, but there you go. And then you get a little bit of reward for depending on what research you did. And then you get a research note, which in this particular case, I have figured out that wintry and meadows has a chance, a normal amount of chance to make a species called Tipsy. Really? Wintry and Meadows makes Tipsy. Okay, I have no idea what Tipsy is, but there you go. And then you can just right-click this little thing in your inventory or your hotbar, and it will basically say, all right, you've memorized the note and disposed of it, and now you got a little bit better chance of doing this Tipsy mutation. So let's just take a quick look at Tipsy, and NEI knows a lot of this stuff already, but that does give you a better chance at getting the mutation. So, okay, not you. Oh. Well, apparently... Oh, Princess? See, apparently that's not in NEI, so I need to remember that. Wintry and Meadows, I think it was. I'll double check. There we go. It doesn't even say here, you just have to know. Oh, here it is. Wintry and Meadows to make Tipsy. There we go. So, I don't know, maybe I'll try that. I guess Tipsy would make beer, or they would make alcohol of some kind or something? No idea. So, alright, so I just been messing with that a little bit. I got a few random drones in here. Oh, and by the way, if you put higher level drones in, like let's say the Diligent one here, then you get more things that you have to match before you win. There you go. So the Diligent drone now has a couple of extras. Diligent is not the highest level though, so obviously if you put in even higher level, then you'll have more pieces to match. Oh, I also made a catalog, because I was trying to figure out what the catalog was and see if it was a book that helped me with forestry. No, it's for the forestry trading system, and it basically just says there's no trades available because we're not using the forestry trading system. So just heads up in case you wondered what the catalog was, and maybe we'll try to make it at some point. Alright, so I was thinking we can probably make this right over here. It'll be near the dragon egg, and it'll be near enough flowers and things that I think we should be good here. So let's do, I believe it's 3x3. Look at all the alveary blocks. 3x3, 3x3x3 is what I'm trying to say, with half slabs upon the top of it. And I think it has to be like Minecraft or Forestry or whatever half slabs. But of course, at this point in Forestry, you certainly have plenty of stuff. Oh, the alveary must have wooden slabs upon the top, and needs space around the top for the bees to enter and exit. So maybe it doesn't like being next to the wall here? I mean, there's space around the top, but maybe it means there has to be a space back here, because obviously it did have that was nice. It had a little bit of hint in there about what was going wrong, presuming that was it. Maybe it means that it needs to have that. There we go. It has done the thing. Okay, so we can't put that right next to the wall. Slightly annoying, but alright. And okay, it does have line of sight to the sky. Alright, so basically this is exactly the same as our apiaries, except we no longer need frames, and we can fully automate it. So let's just say, for instance, I want this Ender Queen and these drones. We got 4 whole combs in here because I haven't been keeping up with the frames. And if we stick these guys in here, well, of course it's raining at the moment, but that should work. And now I have to figure out... What's a jungle flower? Well, there you go. Jungle flowers are ferns and vines. Is there a way to, like, rotate through these, by the way? Because it would be nice to know that back when I was doing the one that said jungle. I guess you can just close it and open it again. Crossbreed with bees. But, yeah, there we go. Machines of this type do not require any power, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think all we need now is a couple of logistics pipes, and I was told to use the higher level, like the elite, or maybe even the highest tier. They work better as far as not getting stuck, because we've been having problems where it'll just like randomly stop piping things out, and it's not really obvious why. I'm still having some problems with that though, so I don't know if these higher tier ones have really made any difference or not. Okay, well, I will have to wait for, well, I can sleep the snow / rain away, but I will have to wait for this one to die off and make sure it rotates through. And then, of course, what we're going to want to do is actually, those words, filter, sort. Yes, we're going to want to sort things. We're going to want the combs to go out one direction. We're going to want some of the drones to go into here, so that we always have a stock of drones. We're going to want to make sure the princess always gets back into there. But then I actually have, oh yeah, you guys are going to find this awesome. Or funny, I hope. I put down this chest when we were trying to breed drones. So we've got fast workers and slow workers. Some are diurnal / nocturnal, and some are not. By the way, diurnal apparently means like daily or in the day or whatever. So basically all the bees here are diurnal. They all work during the day. But some of them are nocturnal, which means they'll work at night as well. You can also make them tolerant, and they'll work in the rain, but I haven't done that yet. I don't think we even have a tolerant bee. I could probably find one. Anyway, we got some that are fast, some that are slow, some that are diurnal, nocturnal, some that have the end, there you go, end instead of flowers, so they need the dragon egg instead of flowers. Some that have the ends, I don't even know where those are. The ends thing on it where it hurts you when you get near them. Notice that, well, they're not working right now because of snow, but I don't get hurt when I go over there anyway. Anymore. So yeah, there are a lot of bees, and these cultivated are cultivated ender. That's where we got our fast worker trait from, and it took a kind of a long time to get that in and then get back to a pure ender bee. But anyway, so this is basically full. Well, it was full, and then I moved some stuff over to here, where now I have stacks of 64 ender drones. 2 full rows plus a few more. Basically, now that we're chunk loaded and this is auto cycling, it basically, we just, oh yeah, I took those out. But anyway, we just get stacks and stacks and stacks of ender drones. So there's 20 there. Oh, there's almost a full stack, 63. Let's skip those out. Once you get a full stack, then, yeah, there you go. And that did stack here, so that's exactly the same type of bee as the rest of that stack was. Once you get a full stack, then they start ending up over here, but then it seems like these kind of pipe out in a certain order. So like, if this one's first and there's drones in it, and this is full of drones, then this can't pipe out, and it gets stuck. And then once I take these drones out, then it kind of goes around and says, oh, well, there's a princess, I can pipe out. So anyway, yeah, we're going to have to make sure that we can get some drones into here, but not all drones into there. Whew, we have an apiary! I'm bouncing on this with my jetpack for some reason. Anyway, that has been a long time coming. Now the question is, do I just automate ender drones or ender bees and call it good? Or do I use the apiary to get more royal jelly, dripping combs, which I need for honey at the moment, kind of, and pollen clusters, and make more apiaries? I'm not sure. I think right now I'm just going to leave the ender bees in it, and we'll just let that rotate. And it is, again, chunk loaded as long as I keep this full of ender pearls. And yeah. Okay, that's it on the bees. And the trees are pretty much done. I think we already... Oh, it's so dark out here. I'm sorry. We already did the old chestnut, sweet chestnut, harvested those. And we saw how many crazy amounts of chestnuts we get out of it. The problem is, I don't know how to automate that very well, because you need to plant it and then let it grow and then let it sit around for like a week of Minecraft time for the chestnuts to ripen or whatever they do. Let's get in here where it's not like scary or annoyingly snowy out. Let it sit around for like a week or two for all the chestnuts to ripen, and then harvest it by cutting it down and gathering all the things off the ground. So that's going to be tough to automate. Might just go with the old hemp plants in the end anyway. But oh yes, I left my refrigerator chest thing out there. So that's it for the moment. Let me sleep this away, and we'll be back after a little bit with probably some Pneumaticcraft. That's the next thing I actually want to do. And we're back. Nice, fresh new morning. It may be a few days later, actually, than when I just went to sleep, but that's fine. So I wanted to show you guys a quick update on the Alveary, and then we're going to go try to work on Pneumaticcraft, like I said a little bit earlier. So we had this little elite pipe going around here, and that is working just fine. It's piping the Princess back in and the drones back in. I actually put a full stack in there to convince myself that this was going to work, and it does seem to work. So this is obviously a barrel with the mysterious comb in it. Not sure why it flickers like that. Optifine has a thing called fast render, but that's turned off. It can cause some things to flicker like that. But anyway, long story short, that's going to restrict, so only mysterious combs can go in here. Actually, let's shift right click, we'll lock that, and make sure that nothing else ends up in that barrel. And then down here I have a restrictive transporter from Mekanism, which makes this the last possible place for things to go, and that goes into the chest. So if we fill up on ender drones, then it'll still pipe them out, and it'll go, I can't pipe it back into there because there's no room. So instead I'm going to pipe it over here, put it in the chest. And if we get extra princesses, because I think there's like a 1 or 2% chance of getting an extra princess, then the extra princesses should go in here as well. And it seems to be working quite well so far. Yeah, this is pretty good. Let's do this. Let's grab all the combs, and you can't put these in one of these, can you? Nope. Alright, we're going to grab all the combs, and then we'll come back to this a little later and see how it's getting along. But I think I've already got about a stack and a half or so of combs out of that, so that's not too bad. Alright, let's just go up here. We'll do a little crafting. Oh, we'll use the project table because it's helpful to make sure we don't forget things. Okay, so Mekanicscraft. There's 3 or 4 things I want to do, and it seemed like maybe the elevator might be one of the simplest things, right? Okay, so elevator frames, not a big deal. Just compressed iron, we can make that. Elevator base, gray plastic. Pneumatic cylinders take blue plastic, and I think that's about it. Okay, well, basically what I'm saying is everything at this point takes plastic. It used to be you got different types of plant seeds and you compressed them into plastic, but those are all gone, and now we need a plastic mixer to change the color to make blue or gray or whatever, and that needs liquid plastic. To get liquid plastic, we need a thermopneumatic processing plant and LPG. To get LPG, we need a refinery, and then you can configure it differently or something, and we'll get LPG out of oil. So it's time to go find oil. Again, if we use the in-game wiki to find out some stuff, we can click on oil here, and it tells us some of this stuff I was just looking at. Oh, look, elevator right there. Cool. And basically, oil spawns kind of like vanilla lakes, but it spawns underground. So to find that, find where the spawns are, they've created this thing called seismic sensor. And then to get stuff out of there, there's a lift or something. So I've got some stuff together. Let's do the seismic sensor thing, and we'll try that out. So redstone repeater, which I think I've got the bits. Of course, it uses TFC pieces instead of. Oh right, I didn't have any sticks on me. I had rebar. Oh yeah, I should mention that. While we're at it, I have new toy. Which you may or may not have noticed in my inventory. Alright, redstone repeater. And let's finish our crafting here and then we'll get to that. And then we need a piece of coal and some glass, like so, and our repeater and our final torch. And that will give us the seismic sensor. Upon right click, it will show whether or not oil was found directly under the block where the sensor was clicked. Unfortunately, it has no range. The range is 1. It's only the block you click on, which is really annoying, I think. We'll find out. Fortunately, I know where some oil is, so we'll go for that right away. And the other thing was a lift. Let's make a lift. So the basic gas lift comes from Mekaniscraft, and we need something like that. There is also an advanced gas lift that comes from an add-on mod, it looks like, but I looked at the recipe and we can't do that yet. So let us go like so. and 3 compressed iron, and there we go. So now we have a gas lift. I think that this is going to pull the oil up, and then we'll put them in these portable tanks, probably. But we're going to need more pressure tubes to get down. That's not going to work. More pressure tubes to get down further in the world. Let's just make a stack up right now. Plus one more, why not? And I got a little bit more iron on me that we'll bring if we need it. In case we need it. Oh, and last thing I forgot, we're going to need to be able to give it some air pressure, of course. So let's go steal our, what do you call it? Air compressor. Oh, I'll mention this really quickly too. So we did automate this thing so that it shuts off. Well, A, so it shuts off when it gets to the right pressure, and B, so that if it ever does overpressure for some reason, the safety valve will kick in. So the safety valve takes a constant redstone level, and here we've got, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 redstone. So this is redstone power 15, if you see in the Wayla tooltip, and this is power 6. At power 6, this thing ends up with a threshold at 4.5 bars. So if we go over 4.5, then it will open up and the safety valve will release some pressure. Also in here I actually added a security upgrade, and that will in addition, here it is, adds a built-in safety valve tube to the machine. So basically this thing will also vent gas, vent air if it needs to. Now over here what we've got is a gauge which will output a redstone signal based on the reading. So right now we're at 4 and I think it's 2x, so yes, we got power 8 here. And of course that goes down by 1 each time you go through vanilla redstone until we're down to power 1, which you don't want to use power 1 to turn things on and off. So basically that energizes this block, which turns off a redstone torch, and then this is set to only run when the power is, or there's a high level. So this redstone torch goes on and off, which is basically 0 or 15 power, instead of trying to turn things on and off with 1, 2, 3, whatever power. If I take this off here, it's going to lose all of its pressure. So let's do this, and that should give us a little loop here, and we should be good. So let's get out of here. Apparently it just used a piece of coal because it's burning for some reason. Oh, because I added I added a tube, so there was more volume that it had to fill up. But that's fine. So we got this little loop here, so we won't lose whatever pressure's in there. And we'll borrow this. So let us go off into the sunset. Is it sunsetting actually? Okay, it is sunsetting. Dang it. I thought I started like right at the beginning of the day. But this time of year, there ain't much day. So that'll work out because we can play with my new toy while we're over there. Okay, compressor. Seismic sensor. Let's just try this out. Okay, so no oil found, no durability bar, doesn't require pressure or anything like that. Let's take a look. Maybe we'll find some oil right over here by Tech Tower, and then we'll play with the Railgun if you haven't figured it out yet. And then we'll go over where I know there is some. Oh, so slow in the snow. Okay, so I guess you can just spam right click and wait until you can see if some oil pops up. So far, not happening. Yeah, we found a bit of oil just exploring and Hello? Why, hello. Found oil 128 meters below. Okay, well, so we can... And we found oil 133 meters below. So there's about 60 buckets here. And there's another... Oh, I guess that's the same. So... right-clicking on the snow doesn't work. If you right-click on the... Well, that's weird. Okay, so right here it finds oil. Here it doesn't find oil. And then over here it finds oil again. So I don't know if that's the same... Yeah, it says 60 buckets. I'm guessing that's the same deal. Same lake, whatever. Let's get this guy out the way. And you might notice it's curved, by the way. That the trunk of that tree was a little bit curved. Why lag? Anyway, I do have better foliage turned on, but I turned off some of the extra stuff that it can do, and it's much nicer, I think. Alright, so let's try this. This is going to take a while, I'm sure. And we'll give it some time while we go do some other stuff. So let's double check, make sure we put it on the right block. Where did it go? There it is. Right here. So it's going to dig down. I kind of rather have it dig down here, especially since we can get it to go a lot lower here. No oil found, no oil found. Really? There's not gonna. There we go. 122 meters below. Okay, so there is one through snow, so the snow doesn't matter. Alright, we want to put you down, and then apparently we want to put tubes in here because you're going to drill down and find the stuff. Probably don't need a tube, but let's stick a tube on there. And then we'll put down our air compressor, and I don't... Let's see, you can take a safety valve, right? Adds a safety, yes, okay, so I'm going to grab that security upgrade and we'll use that to make sure we don't overpressure things here. Well, let's get that started. Let me go grab the security upgrade, put that in there, and then we'll go play with the railgun for a few minutes. Alright, you should be fine, you don't even have a compressor hooked up right now. And down we go. Alright, so now if it gets to 5, it should start venting. Now you need at least half a bar, you're good up to 5. Okay, and you are placing tubes. So apparently you're... Oh, I just realized it's at 120 meters below, right? Yep, and I only gave it 64. Okay, we're going to need to make more tubes. And let's see, glass, compressed iron. I guess we're going to need a lot of tubes to make this work. Let's see, 100, yeah, another stack should be enough. And let's get all this stuff out of the inventory here. Okay, go, go, go. You're fine. What are you? Boxwood. Yeah. Alright, let's play with the railgun. Yeah. Alright, so this is Immersive Engineering Railgun. It is kind of a pain to make. Wooden grip's not bad, the revolver barrel's not bad, just some steel. These are, you know, the electrum wire coils we've done before. It's not too bad, but you just need to make up some electrum. These are kind of the pain. It takes 2 HV capacitors. And HV capacitors take MV capacitors plus lead and steel, and MV capacitors take more lead and steel and stuff. So it's, you know, it's a multi-process thing. The other thing is you can add extra, quote-unquote extra capacitors to it, and if you do that, it gets more power or more power reserve and recharges faster. The extra capacitors, thought I just heard something. The extra capacitors require 3 more HV things, HV capacitors. So yeah, that's a bit. Alright, so a couple things. I put a scope on it, which means if I shift, you can't shoot me from there, right? I think we're okay. If I hold down shift, zoom in, and then I can scroll wheel and get the zoom. Yes. But first of all, let's just do it without the zoom. Hold down right click until we get to 99. Get that cool little sound, and then bam, dead zombie. Let me see, is that probably block settings? I don't know if it's blocks or what. I want to make the sound a little bit louder if I can. I don't think that did it. Alright, so this guy's got 1500 health and gone. Yes. Alright, so we are shooting rebar. Nope, this one. Rebar from Railcraft. You can also shoot iron bars and steel bars and a bunch of other stuff. But the rebar seemed to be the easiest one. 3 wrought iron makes 16 of those in the old rolling machine, so that's pretty easy. Let's go for a nice long shot on somebody. Can we see? There's a creeper. Zoom. We just hold it down. Wait for the sound, and oh, I actually saw the rebar. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so if you miss, if you shoot a block, just like with arrows, you can actually go down there and get it back. So let's go down there. We'll grab our XP balls, and there's the rebar stuck in the block. So that's pretty cool. And then over here we should have a couple more XP balls. So that's my new toy. I've been carrying around a bow and arrows since the beginning of the game, basically. And I figured since I have a jetpack and all this other stuff, I probably should upgrade my my deal. Okay, let's get back down here. We should be in spawn protection here, so hopefully we're okay. Oh yeah, you're at full pressure. And are you out? You are out. Presumably as it... Oh, you need more and more pressure the further it digs down. Well, that's an issue. It's probably not going to be able to dig down 120 or whatever. Huh. That's kind of a pain. Okay, so this isn't going to quite work. We're going to have to do something about that. So I'm going to have to dig down, pump and allow to empty, pump leave fluid, draw in tubes. Oh, you can make it pull the tubes back up. Alright, let's just make it pull all the tubes back up. Will you not draw in tubes? And you can hear that this guy is in security mode. If I had to put that security upgrade in, it could explode right now. I don't know why it's not drawing in tubes. Seems like that... Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is break all this and dig down there by hand, and then we'll go from there. So let's see. Yeah, we can break you, and you, and you, and then I will just break all these all the way down. And once I get down there, I'll still try to use the pump, but it's not going to be able to dig down that far. Yeah, we'll just try it from down there. That's what we'll do. Alright, be right back. Alright, well bugger. We're already out of time, so I did dig all the way down here, and I dug out a little room, because I want to run this and see it actually run. I think that's why the advanced gas lift is in the pack, because this is assuming more of a vanilla world and will only go down, 60 or whatever blocks, where we need to actually go a lot further than that. So let's go ahead and throw charcoal in here. Yeah, charcoal in here. I've already got the security upgrade in there, so that should be fine. It has pressure tubes in it, so that should be fine. While it's building up some pressure here, oh, and I checked, we should be about 30 meters above. I will dig down there after a bit. By the way, this is the lake, and as soon as you get to here, no oil. Alright. I will dig down there to go check it out, but I wanted to use the tool for doing it. And it's okay, now it's digging and placing blocks. Before the episode, I went down and actually, let me just show you on the map. Right here, we've actually found some oil in running around through some ravines and caves and stuff, and I was going to go use that oil, but it was really far and hard to get to. Anyway, long story short, something down there, one of the monsters dropped this thing called the Rare Shader Crap Bag, and I think we right-click it, since it says, yes, there we go. Usurper, level epic. Can be applied to revolver, railgun, blah blah blah. Alright, so these shaders will change the way your gun looks. But we'll have to do that back on the work table, so we'll have to wait for next time for that, I think. How are we doing? Okay, you're slowly slowly gaining pressure and using that pressure to dig, but you're also needing more and more pressure each time. So yeah, we're getting there. No problems. Oh, there we go. Now it needs 1.9. Now it needs 1.95. Alright, so we're slowly building up, and okay, we're right at 32 right now, so we should be just about there. Oh, it was 33, right? Yeah, 33 meters, so we should be good right now. And bam! Black gold, yeah! Alright, so it has an internal tank, and I brought these portable tanks, and I want to see if, well, that doesn't connect at all. Whoops, and we're on fast mode. Careful of that. There's nowhere to put a deal in there. Can we put you on top? Can we put you on top? No. So we've pumped the oil out of the ground and into the gas lift, But now I'm going to have to figure out how to... Not enough space to pump. Connect up to a tank. Right. So I'm going to have to get... Well, okay. One thing. We've got some... I should have one of pretty much every kind of thing in the chest here. Do we have... No, logistical... Mechanical pipes, yes. Let's throw in a mechanical pipe. Will it connect? Yes. And can I configure you to pull out of here? We need to go fluid mode, I presume. Pull. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So we've got a method of getting oil, and of course these guys I can break, and they will retain their inventory, so I can take that back upstairs. If it's only 60 buckets, and these hold 14 buckets worth, then yeah, we could probably just do this a couple times and be good. If we're going to find like a really big one, we may have to do something better, but there you go. 10 more buckets of oil down there, one more liquid tank, and then I'll dig down and check it out. But that is it for today for sure, folks. I'm over time already, and I'm not going to go put this on the Railgun really quickly or anything because we're totally out of time and it's time to go. And okay, I'm totally going to go put it on. Let's do it. It's down here. Oh yes, this is our patio horses. They ended up on here and apparently can't figure out how to get off because they've been on there kind of forever. Okay, take the railgun, put it in here, and then looks like I can apply a shader thing right there. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Now we have the oh wow, look at that baby. Does it do anything different when we shoot? No, not really. Alright, very cool shader though. Looks very, very neat. I think first person is the best view of it. Alright, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. More Mekanism stuff coming up, and hopefully we'll actually be able to do something with it rather than just get things to make things to make things, if you understand. That's it. See you in the next one. And for anybody counting, 24 mysterious combs in the time it took me to do the Mekanism stuff. That's it. Bye.